Thanks, Sandy.
Recording in progress.
All right, awesome, wonderful. Okay, your something sharing has paused. Okay. I do not want to pause the sharing. I don't know what I just
Coach,
did.
how are you doing?
Add.
Jim Dandy.
Jim Dandy to the rescue. You don't remember that song?
Enjoy talking.
Okay, can you still see the slides? Because it's saying here that I clicked something that paused the sharing. Oh,
Hey, you gotta have fun, right?
okay. All right. Can you still see the slides? Okay, I need a thumbs up to make sure everybody can see the slides. Welcome, welcome. It's Saturday night in Boston, Georgia. We have a house full. We have several people on Zoom. We're excited about the information we're going to share. And there's a lot of buzz around weight loss. Has there ever been a time where people were not ever interested in weight loss, especially in today's world? But we're going to talk about it, and we're going to show and reveal the facts. Come on, Marlena. This is Marlena's home. We are so grateful to be a part of the Bostonian revival. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. This is a place of refuge, and I'm so thankful that all of you are here tonight. This is our healthy living evangelist, LaVon Vaughn. I keep telling her she needs to run for senator or something because, you know, that picture she's got with the flag on there. I'm like, you belong in politics because that red hair right there and that fire that she's got, she could be a mover and a shaker, couldn't she? But I love her. She's such a wealth of information. Y'all are going to be so blessed tonight. I know I need to learn more about weight loss, especially the older that you get. Your hormones are all out of whack, and it's like, why can't I ever lose this inner tube around my waist, right? So we're going to find out tonight. And LaVon's come all the way from Lakeland, Florida. Yeah. All of you know her except for Jory. He is recently joined Neo Life, and we're so glad to have him. He's from Thomasville. He moved here from Utah. And I just want to welcome you to my home. If you need anything, please let me know. I have water, I have hot tea, whatever you need, let me know, okay? And
Awesome.
welcome on Zoom.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much for this opportunity to share. We're going to gain the facts about obesity. Oh my goodness. So, healthy. We're going to learn the difference between weight loss and being healthy, because there is a huge, huge difference. Because in the very many years ago, I'm talking like 50, 60 years ago, did you know that they actually promoted through magazines that you could place an order for a tapeworm? And it was in a bottle and you'd swallow it, and it guaranteed you would lose weight. And people actually bought it. So, in other words, just because you've dropped pounds doesn't mean you've done it the healthy way. And so it's crazy what people are willing to do in order to drop pounds. Are you willing to what are you willing to sacrifice? What are you willing to risk in order to just drop pounds? So is it short-term health you're interested in, or is it long-term health? Let's take a look at here. What does it cost you and I, this thing called obesity? Now, we see that there has been a huge change in our food distribution and our food supply and what they're feeding us. In fact, 90% of what you see in the grocery store today wasn't there 50 years ago. Think about that one. 90% of what you see today, that's up and down those middle aisles, did not exist 50 plus years ago. The medical care cost of obesity in the United States alone is very high. In 2008, these costs were estimated at 147 billion. The annual nationwide productivity costs of obesity related absenteeism, and that's, you know, that you are actually having to miss your productivity because of obesity, cost $79 per obese individual. So in other words, it's costing a lot, especially at as of March 2018, it's gone up from $70 to $132. So in other words, we are in a and I'm going to call it what it is. It is it's by design. It's by design. And people want to say, well, and people feel guilty and shamed because they are overweight, when the reality is it's not really truly our fault that we are overweight. I'm going to say that one more time. It's not really truly our fault that we are overweight. We've been fed a lie. And when you've been fed a lie and you discovered, I don't want to eat the lie anymore, then all of a sudden, then you drop the shame, and guess what else? You drop the pounds. So planting the obesity epidemic in the U.S. cropland. So what's happened here is they shifted our food supply from the variety of fruits and vegetables and the different things that they used to have 60 years ago. Now, the majority of our crops are soy and corn. And try to pick up that 90% that's in the grocery store, and you pick it up and you see the label, and it's going to have soy and it's going to have corn in it. Now, soy in and of itself is not a bad thing, but when it's genetically modified soy, it is. So you want to determine whether or not has it been genetically altered. Both of those items, 90% of what we plant and grow in the United States, it's genetically altered. So we're taking a look at, they shifted our crop supply. They put it in all of our food supply. 90% of our food supply contains this genetically altered corn and genetically altered soy. So when you start a child on a genetically altered soy Enfamil or a milk, and then you raise that child with, the first cereals and the first, the cold cereals and all the things that they're eating and consuming today is all filled with this genetically modified foods, then it sets that child up from the beginning to be obese, and that child doesn't have a chance. It doesn't have a chance until the parents or those who are in charge of overseeing the direction and instruction of those children to be able to switch out the food supply. So only 2% of Americans in agriculture is growing fruits and vegetables. Now, is that a shocker? Oh no, when I found this out, it was a shocker to me. And childhood obesity as a shot is causing a lot of problems. And we have raised exponentially to 74% of children are now considered obese. My goodness. What is that doing to the trajectory or their future generations? It's messing with their hormones. It's messing with their brain activities like ADD and ADHD. It's messing with their self-esteem, their self-identity. It's messing with all of that. So let's take a look at medical complications of obesity. How about stroke? How about pulmonary disease, pancreatic problems, cancer especially, fatty liver disease, gallstones, cancer, skin disorders, gout? How about hypertension, cognitive dysfunction? That's a mental capabilities, cataracts, coronary diabetes, hypertension, all kinds of things. I think you get the picture from head to toe that things are not going to be in balance if your body is carrying above average weight. And here's the problem, because I've met people that other people would consider are overweight, but they're very healthy. So, and I've met people that are very skinny mini and they're very unhealthy. So here's the guidelines. And the guidelines are how many toxins are you storing? How many toxins are you storing in your body? And unfortunately, a lot of the toxic chemicals that we're coming in contact with love fat. And so they actually store into the fat cells. And your brain, by the way, loves fat. So many times as the toxic chemicals are coming into the body, that it is stored in the brain because of its fat. Now we have a blood-brain barrier that protects the brain, but many of our chemicals are finding a way through the blood-brain barrier, such as nano type of technologies. All right, remind you of anything recently? Nanotype technologies that actually are designed to go through the blood-brain barrier. So obesity is costing us, and it's costing more than anything the next generation. How many here have seen the movie or the documentary Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead? Okay, everybody needs to see that documentary. It's about a young man who actually was overweight, and he decided to make some changes in his life. And he decided to get in his vehicle and travel all the way across the United States and stop and interview families from all over the United States. And he actually documented and showed that it's generational. So whatever grandfather is eating is whatever the grandchild is going to eat, because they admire grandfather or father, and they're going to eat whatever they eat. And many times it's not the best choices. So food engineered to create addiction. Here's another problem. Remember, I said it's not your fault. So these foods are designed to change your gut biome, and that's the gut bacteria, to where the gut bacteria begins to say, hey, I want that sugar, I want that MSG, or I want the excitotoxins that are in food, or I want this particular chip, or I want this particular ice cream, or I want this particular donut, I want this. And it's actually designed to be that way, and the food industry knows that. As a matter of fact, there's many documentaries showing this, that the food industry called children in to taste test the new foods they're coming out with. And it's called the bliss point. And so when that child they know immediately when that food touches the child's palate and that child breaks out into an immediate dopamine high, they've hit the bliss point. And they know they've got it. And that's what they're putting in the foods in order. You remember when they say, I bet you can't eat just what? One. Well, that is because they know it's designed that you cannot honestly eat just one, because your gut is screaming for these foods. You become addicted to these foods. Bradley, of all the processes, takes food to the different places. And he talks about, we're not talking about food actually being real anymore. 90% of your food in the grocery store is not considered food. It's synthetic, completely contrived and created. And there's so many problems about that, because our bodies are tricked. And when our bodies are tricked repeatedly, dramatic things can happen, like weight gain and endocrine system hormone disruption, and you have early diabetes. And the amount of children that they're now saying are pre-diabetic are astounding, and already diabetic. Diabetes and hypertension in children. We're seeing I'm getting calls where children at the age of 10 are on blood pressure medications. And I'm going, okay. And I have to deal with it, where the parents are just like, they don't see a problem with their child being on diabetic or on high blood pressure medications. And I would have to ask them questions and walk and step them through to let them see and speak for themselves. Wait a minute, this is really not normal, is it? And I go, I don't think so. I don't think this is a normal way to live or to raise. What kind of future is this child going to have if they're already taking blood pressure meds at 10? Yes. So I'm going to actually share a couple of slides with you. You probably have never seen before, but it is factual, is that there is a company called Cinemix, and they actually have documented this. There's a woman in St. Pete that documented all this. I took my information from her. She has actually spoken in Congress to stand against the issue of abortion because she's an advocate for children. And she believes that life begins at conception. And so one of her speeches before Congress was talking about how we're taking this bliss point and these flavor enhancements, and we're using aborted fetal tissue to do it. And this is the company that actually is doing it and causing these flavor enhancements. So the biggest thing is seeing how many different flavors that they can make your food taste like. Okay, there's a book out called The Dorito Effect that talks all about this. And it talks about how they created the Dorito to where one bite will actually put you in Mexico instantly. And you'll be wanting to order a margarita along with your Dorito. Because all of a sudden your brain is lit up, you're excited, your endorphins and everything is just going crazy because everything on that tongue that just hit your tongue actually excited the entire experience of being in Mexico. Yeah, Dorito. Okay, the Dorito effect. Then research products. Here are some products that actually, I'm sorry it's blurry because I guess it's transferring, but these are some pictures of products that use this company in order to produce an excitotoxic or taste enhancer and flavors in their foods. So we need to be aware of this so that we have a conscience about the foods that we're putting in our body. How many here have heard about this? Nobody here's heard you.
So
Okay.
you're
All
saying-
right. We got a in the know in the house. Yes. Bits and pieces. Well, this is the company and this is true. It's valid. It's valid information.
And
It's
they're
not
using-
urban legends. Yes.
They're using aborted
Fetal tissue for this. In
And
fact, they
they-
passed laws. They were trying to, this woman from St. Pete went to Congress in order to give her statement before Congress to say, we have to pass a law to stop this company, and they overrode her and went and passed it anyhow. Absolutely. So taming the monster within is not an easy task to do, is it? Because now we've created a monster within. Now, have you ever gone to the store and you've gone down the cereal aisle and you see a mother with 3 children and they're all going, Lucky Charms, I want, oh yeah, and I want this one and I want that one and I want that. And the mother might say, well, I'm only going to get one. And you hear the child just going crazy.
Oh, yeah.
That's that gut bacteria going to town. Come on. And it's sending messages to the brain. And so and the mother is just like lost. Oh my goodness, my kids are out of control. And so how do you tame the monster within? Because this is a picture of instant. You can just dial up food delivery service anytime you want.
DoorDash.
A DoorDash and anything you want at any time. I have a friend who was trying to help her husband control his blood sugar and control his blood pressure and all the things. And he kept saying, well, I'm not eating anything that you don't serve me. And she couldn't figure it out until she opened the closet one day and saw all the pizza he had ordered through DoorDash. And all the junk food that he was ordering. And she was doing it, little sneaky guy. Anyhow. So crash and burn. So it's all designed to actually make you obese from the beginning and then make you feel so shameful. And then all of a sudden that's okay because now you're in the market for a diet program, right? Okay, so we got you down the assembly line, right? So we got you overweight. And now we're going to hit you with every kind of trickster in the book on how to drop weight. There's everything in the book. You could just dial up all the lawsuits that have gone on, all the, it used to be, I remember my mother used to drink gelatin. She would drink gelatin to lose weight. But that gelatin got sued because they actually produced a product for weight loss because people died because it had no nutrition in it. Now people lost weight, but they died from a deficiency of nutrition. Oh my goodness. So it does matter how you lose weight. Oh my goodness. So do you want a program where you're going to drop weight and then you're going to crash and burn? Or do you want something that's sustainable? Do you want something that's going to sustain you for a lifetime? Something that's going to segue you into a better, a healthier lifestyle? And only you can answer that question. Only you can make those decisions on what you want and what you want to do, because there are harmful side effects. I'll look at programs and they'll say, okay, these are these packaged foods. They cost you $600 a month to buy these packaged foods. And I'll look at the ingredients and I go, oh my goodness, they got artificial sweeteners in there. They got GMOs in there. They've got all kinds of this and that. Oh my goodness, it's fake food. And then they turn around and they'll say, eat less than 1,000 calories. Do you know you'll die of malnutrition on less than 1,000 calories if you stay on that for too long? Hence, I'm like, okay, do you value your thyroid? Do you value your brain? Do you value your endocrine system? What are you doing to yourself here? And so if I told you to reduce your diet down to 1,000 calories, anybody will drop weight. You don't have to buy their $600 food plan. You will automatically drop weight if you drop down to that many calories. The average when I took my classes and certification is 2,000 basic calories a day. And if you want to drop weight, then you drop down to a degree on that. Men don't drop down as much as females would. But how many diets have been on the market from, hydroxycut will cut your, calories, keto approved, all of a sudden the biggest craze lately, keto this, keto that, all of a sudden they're clearing the shelves for all these keto packaged products, Nutrisystem, Garcinia. If you type in Garcinia and you type in lawsuit on kidney damage, liver damage, thyroid damage, endocrine system damage, hormone damage, it's all over the map, but they just keep piling it. They just keep pushing it in. There are a couple of recent diet programs. People sent me some information. I said, well, no wonder you're dropping weight and you're getting energy, because it was Power Punch with tons of synthetic caffeine and synthetic Garcinia. Oh my goodness. Well, no wonder. So it does matter. And look here, the green coffee bean extract is found in almost all these diet programs. Oh my. But is it the best choice for you? Is it the best choice for your long-term health? Is it the best for you to even share with your children? Is that something you want to do and guide your children in or your grandchildren in this direction? So buyer beware. The raw organic meal of Garden of Life was actually tested and found high levels of lead, and arsenic was in it. Slim Fast. In fact, a lady who was a nurse wrote an article saying I wouldn't give a dying dog Slim Fast. and the other protein, the boost. And I get these phone calls and they're always telling me, well, my doctor recommends boost. My doctor recommends Premier. I didn't put Premier up here, but my doctor recommends this one and that one. And you just type in, they damage kidneys, they damage livers, they damage they fraud in the labeling of these products. So buyer beware, because they really don't contain nutrition. They reduce the calories, they fill the stomach, but they reduce the calories, and they make you think your body, you're dropping weight. But honestly, what you're really dropping in this is muscle. You're not dropping unwanted pounds, you're dropping muscle.
One or the other is.
Exactly. And it's at sarcopenia, which is a muscle, a deficiency in muscle. So fat loss, 80% is nutrition and 20% is workout. So in other words, you can't outrun a bad diet. You can't outwork a bad diet. And I hear this all the time. My goodness, I stay in the gym, I work out, and I'm burning all these calories because when I took nutrition in high school, they don't do it anymore. It was always counting calories. You had to do your food list. You had your food pyramid. And are you aware that today's food pyramid includes Lucky Charms at the very foundation of it? Absolutely. They now include Lucky Charms in the foundation of the food pyramid, saying, if you want to protect your heart, eat Lucky Charms. How far have we gone down the path of insanity is the bottom line. If you're not cleaning up your diet, you're not going to be leaning out. Wow. So obesity keeps the industry in business. So remember, what keeps them in business, you to go down that track. So they extract. If you go down their track, they will extract and extract and extract from you. USDA subsides promote obesity. And if you were to create a My Plate, so then they come out with a My Plate program. And if you create a My Plate program, it's mostly sugar and carbs. And just like the food pyramid is always based mostly sugar and carbs. I had one of the sharpest nutritionists tell me personally that, Levon, if you ate what the food pyramid USDA recommends, you'd be so big you couldn't walk through the front door of any place because of the amount of carbs they want you to consume. Oh my goodness. So you can see here that heart disease, stroke, some of the same things that we talked about before, liver disease, and of course, type 2 diabetes is preventable when you take caution and you change the intake of your food from the lying food to the lion's food. Okay, did you get what I just said? All right, here actually is a picture of the food pyramid. Now, what is that? What's on the basis of the food pyramid? Pasta, breads, yeah, you know, it can be donuts, it can be anything. When you go to the doctor's office, what are they feeding you? You go in the cancer clinics, you go in for treatment. What do they have sitting out there? They have donuts, they have cookies, they've got everything that feeds cancer. Oh my goodness. So you can see this. Does this make sense? No. Guess what's at the top? Meat and eggs. Oh my, which is the lion's food. Got it? The lion's food is at the top. This is the liar's food. Wow. So let's take a look at too much sugar. Actually, when they switch our foods out from having a good quality fat and protein and switch it out to the vegetable oils, the seed oils, and the carbs and the sugar, then all of a sudden America had an obesity problem. Wow. I want you to take a look at how much sugar is contained in just a Coke. Oh my goodness. So you're looking at how much sugar have you had today? Oh my goodness, you can see how much sugar is sitting And if you've had any of these soft drinks or any of these Coca-Colas, and this is probably, if you were to identify the number one driver of diabetes type 2 would be soft drinks. And they know that. And they keep pushing it. And it breaks my heart when I see a child that's 2 years old and has a Coca-Cola in the sippy cup. I have literally seen a child with Coke in the baby bottle. Okay, there's a documentary out about Mexico, and it was a gentleman who ran for a political office in Mexico. And if anybody wants that documentary, I played it, so I'll be able to find it. And it shows how he fought against the food industry when Coca-Cola came down to Mexico to shift their plants. In Mexico, they wanted everybody addicted to Coke. And when they did that, all of a sudden the children, their teeth would have fallen out, they were malnourished, and all of a sudden they were all obese and they all had type 2 diabetes. And how he stood up and he actually fought it in government and is turning the situation around. And he goes into the villages and shows you and interviews these families and how they have been hoodwinked and lied to. So, insulin causes weight gain. So, ta-da! Good news is if too much insulin running around in your body causes weight gain, then that's something you can do something about. You are empowered with tools that can help you to reduce the amount of insulin that is running around in your body. Kelly Brownell says that at a Stanford School of Public Policy in Duke board of directors, this is kind of her bio. She said in Time Magazine, 100 most influential people. And so let me tell you what she shared. She shared that the hormones leptin and insulin and estrogens and androgens, growth hormones, influence our appetite, metabolism, and body fat distribution. People who are obese have hormone levels that encourage the accumulation of body fat. So it's a hormone issue. How do we get this hormone issue? We've messed with our hormones by agitating and abusing through flooding our bodies with excess insulin for long periods of time. Try balancing 500, because the body makes about 500 hormones. Your thyroid spits out hormones, and every cell in your body has a thyroid receptor. So try managing. It's like having 500 wives. Come on, only what? Solomon? He went crazy. All right. So, in other words, you're going to have a hard time trying to balancing 500 hormones, especially if it's been hijacked by Lucky Charms. So people who are obese have hormone levels that encourage this. There are biochemical forces that make us eat more and exercise less. So they actually cause a lethargy. They cause a lack of motivation. They cause depression. And you're seeing this with children all day long, sitting down in front of a computer or an iPad or a phone screen all the time. And they're not interested in going out and being creative and adventurous and discovering and all of that. Instead, they're just zoned and they're focused on themselves. Which is not a good thing. And they're constantly going for the bag of Cheetos or Doritos or all of the things that have all of these excitotoxins in them. So food is a biological weapon. Wow. So the United States chose that our bioweapon of destruction is going to be food. Yay. It turns out that there are well-defined biological mechanisms that can explain how the foods we eat disrupt the function of our hormones, which makes us eat more and gain more weight. In other words, we're not getting fat because we're eating more. We're eating more because we're getting fat. So in other words, that fat begins to disrupt the hormones and demands more disruption. Sounds to me like a little bit of chaos and spiritual warfare going on there inside the fat cells. So a calorie is a unit of energy. So you want to measure a calorie is a unit of energy. So you're exchanging energy for food, right? And that's the way we should think about it. Instead of pleasure, instead of my, my drug of choice is my bag of Doritos or my bag of this or my Coca-Cola or whatever you choose. But my recommendation is to eat empty. You're either going to use it or you're going to store it. And so when you eat empty calorie foods, you will actually use it, and instead of calorie dense foods. And we're going to talk more about that in just a minute, because negative calories. So you want to eat negative calorie foods, and negative calorie foods are real foods. They're not packaged foods. They're not canned foods. They're not boxed foods. They're not fast foods. Negative calorie foods are real whole foods. Eat fat to lose weight fast. So in other words, this is opposite of everything we've been told. We've been told that eating fat makes you fat, right? Well, how come our grandmother and great grandmother that churned the butter on the front porch and shelled the peas and ate peas and greens all day long and cornbread never got fat? Well, number one, they exchange that energy unit of the calories and they put out the energy, but they also ate enough quality protein and quality fats to counterbalance, feed good gut bacteria. Because butter feeds good gut bacteria. It has butyric acid in it, which actually feeds good gut bacteria. So when we started changing out the seed oils and the vegetable oils and the genetically modified foods, it changed the gut bacteria biome. The colonies began to change, and colonies are your second brain. And your second brain in your gut, you have a second brain in your gut, and your second brain will actually outsmart this brain because it yells louder. How many here knows that your stomach, when it gets a thought or when it has a craving for something, that you'll leave the house at 9 o'clock at night and go to the store and get it? Because you've got gut bacteria that's sending signals to the brain, and it's going to hit you and hit you and hit you until it gets its fix. And what do you feel after you get your fix? You feel shameful. You feel you fall asleep in a diabetic coma, But if you sit down and eat a meal that is filled with protein and quality fats, you're satiated, you're satisfied, you're feeding good gut bacteria, and you're not susceptible to the cravings. Now, have you ever tried to eat too much fat? Think about it. You can't eat too much fat, meaning you can't overeat fat because you're going to stop eating it. If you had so much fat on a piece of meat or butter, then your body's going to say, I don't need any more. I don't want any more. I am satisfied. Unlike the bag of chips, I want more. Give me another one. I got to have another one. I got to have more. It's the opposite of fat. So quality fat will satisfy. And you can't overeat fat because your body won't take it. Your body will barf if you shove another, cup of coconut oil down it or olive oil. If you put a cup of olive oil on your salad, you won't be able to finish your salad because the oil itself is going to overpower anything and you're going to be full, right? So fat satisfies, fat fills, And you can't, and your body will tell you in a natural body signal, okay, I've had enough. You can say no more. And it's very satisfying. And guess what? Guess how long that satisfying feeling lasts? It lasts for hours. It's very satisfying for hours. It doesn't last 30 minutes. It doesn't last 20 minutes. You eat a bag of chips in 20 minutes, you're going to have a low and you're going to want another upper again. You're going to be grabbing some ice cream next. You're going to go on that roller coaster, roller coaster, roller coaster. Yes.
All of those foods back there
Uh-huh.
are negative calorie foods.
Yeah, they're good
I'm
foods.
surprised watermelon is on there.
Yeah, it's full of electrolytes and it's actually low in sugar. But it's full of electrolytes. Yeah,
Watermelon is low in sugar.
it's lower than other fruits. Yes. And you're getting fiber with it and it's got minerals. Yep. Yeah, it's considered a low calorie food. Absolutely. For this summer, by the way, I took some good Georgia grown watermelon with seeds in it. And I actually put it in my Vitamix and poured it in my ice trees and froze them and put them in my bags and I put them in smoothies. And my grandkids love it. Grant, can you make me a smoothie with that watermelon? And it's delicious. Even just giving them a cup with frozen watermelon in it. It's wonderful. There's a gentleman named Banting that talks about sugar carb being the culprit and showing that refined carbs is what actually leads to obesity. Refined carbs increase insulin levels because here's how your hormones are triggered. Because once you put the sugar and the carbs, it releases insulin, the insulin's released, and then you've got storage of excess glucose in the fat cells. And Banting was the first one to ever actually study this, do the research on this. Quite amazing. So here is the SAD. This is a standard American diet. What was the class we did last night? And I said, it's about $8 to go through McDonald's. And the girl says, $10. I just did it. She told on herself last night. So here is a heavy calorie, positive calorie diet going on here, right? So you're actually throwing all your hormones way out of whack and you're feeding the bad gut bacteria. So there's a lot of things going on here that causes the triggering of, okay, how are we going to store this glucose in a fat cell? How are we going to store the toxins that are in this food in a fat cell? And so that's how your body deals with it. Obesity crisis. Oh, even kitty cats are suffering. Even kitty cats are suffering from this obesity crisis. Oh my goodness. Have you seen? They're doing the same thing to animal food that they're doing to human food. I've seen it. Oh my goodness. You know, cats and dogs are now getting tumors, they're getting cancer, they're getting diabetes, they're getting adrenal issues, they're getting it all the diseases that humans are getting, cats and dogs are getting today because they're eating the same foods. Oh my. So insulin dependent blindness, and let me go over a few things that happens when you get to that stage where you become insulin dependent and all of a sudden your cells say, all right, we're shutting the door. We're not going to let any more insulin in. So run around and wreak havoc over everything because we have had enough. We've been saturated and it's blindness. And this has come home to me because my husband is totally blind from type 2 diabetes. So I've walked this walk. I've seen it happen. And it could have been a different outcome if somebody had listened prior, and we could have changed a person's future if they had listened to the instruction of, all right, let's change our diet here and let's take in some foods that are very satisfying. You don't have to forfeit good taste. You don't have to forfeit delicious food in order to change your lifestyle. Another one is, it's the number one, by the way, diabetes is the number one reason for loss of vision. Diabetes is the number one reason for loss of limbs. It's the number one cause of loss of limbs in today's society. So it's loss of limbs, and then you've got surgery. The number one reason for people needing surgery. And then we are free to choose. We are free to choose. And that's the good news, is that we still have the freedom to support our body with real food and starting to choose the things that our body can make the balance and adjustment, give the message and the signal, okay, this person means business. We're no longer going to get any more of this carb, sugar cycle. So I guess it's safe to release some fat cells. And then all of a sudden, you'll start dropping the weight when your body is safe. Now, don't they tell you that somebody that's been in a traumatic situation and growing up, that they can't talk about it or even telling one about it until they feel safe? Your body's the same way. It's been traumatized by all this flooding of insulin and all this flooding of carbs and sugar and glucose. And when the body finally, when you change the intake of your food to real food, negative calorie foods, then your body says, okay, we're safe. We can drop the unwanted pounds and the toxins that go with it. Here are some people that chose that path. And these are people we know, we have met, people who choose a new lifestyle. And these are people that got on a program that began to change their lifestyle and chose a better path. Here is some more people I personally knew when I first started 10 years ago. I met Carlos, gentle giant of a man. He's a minister, and his doctor told him, and he had a little boy. He was only in his late 30s, early 40s. And the doctor said, you're not going to live very long. And he dropped 251 pounds because he began to change what he was putting into his body. Linda Wilson, she just toned up and got more muscle. And by the way, contrary to belief, you can gain muscle even after 60. How about 70? How about 80? Yes, it's true. You can do that. People helping people is what this is about. People helping other people to choose a better lifestyle so that you can have a longer, more vital living life that can be medication free and lower your risk of these chronic diseases. I love this story here of Barbara Mosley, who I personally met. I have her testimony recorded, but she was obese. She was diabetic. She had MS. She had arthritis. She had a number of situations where the doctor, her blood pressure was out of control. And she was a nurse, and she had to quit her job, become disabled, get on disability. And they told her her kidneys were shutting down, because if you take all those meds, your kidneys will shut down. And so she met someone up at Big Bear in California that shared with her about the weight management program of Neolife. But it's not just a weight management program, it's a program for health. And so she got on it, dropped all of her weight. She now got off the kidney transplant list. She's on 0 medications. She no longer is diagnosed even with MS. And she went and got her naturopathic degree, and she's teaching others how to follow the same pathway that so desires to change their future. Awesome, awesome testimony of Barbara. Here's another one. We personally know Miss Jennifer Christmas, and Jennifer did drop it. And again, Jennifer has taught classes at her church to help people to understand the value of switching out your lifestyle. And Jennifer is an example of that. She did this, she set her goal, and things happen in life. So she actually went slipping and sliding on another slippery slope. But you know what? That's why we have family. That is why we took her by the hand and said, Jennifer, you're going back into all your sugar and all this stuff. And it's because she let someone in her life that upset her emotions. Anybody ever done that before? And led her down another emotional pathway, which she emotionally began to eat. And because of that, it cost her. But guess what? She's back on track now, and she's back on the positive program. And that's what this is about. This is not about perfection. This is about helping people making better decisions. And when we see one another faltering or slipping and sliding, we pray for you and we lift you up and we encourage you to start doing better. So from fast food to healthy food is the biggest switch. That if America would make these choices right here, negative calorie foods, put the quality fat back into your diet and start filling up on those calories, start filling up on those foods, that type of foods. And when you do, then your body's going to be satisfied and you'll no longer have that 3 o'clock in the morning craving or the 9 p.m. craving or the 7 a.m. craving for a chai latte from the Antichrist drive-through with 10 pounds of sugar in it that cost you $12. All right, so you see a beautiful array here of wonderful food. What do you see here? You see quality oils, quality negative foods on fruit, on vegetables. You see protein. Isn't that what you see here? Now, does this look delightful?
Yes.
Does this look delicious? Now, this is a feast. This is what the way that God created it for us to have a banquet and have a feast and enjoy these things that are meant to be. Join the Real Food Challenge. So I just challenge y'all tonight to join the Real Food Challenge, to say no to the fake food, stop eating the lies, and start buying the truth and receiving the truth. So start today. It's not short-term diet. It's a long-term lifestyle change. And that's who we attract in Neolife, is those who want a lifestyle change, not something I got to instantly drop 30 pounds or else I'm going to die by Thursday, right? Really? That just doesn't work. And you're going to regret it in the end. The ketogenic pyramid, food pyramid, has been one of the best to help people start that shift in their life. And notice it's just simply reduce your carbs and increase your protein and increase your fat. Notice it's not the protein that you're going to focus on, but it's the quality fats you're going to focus on. So because you can only eat so much steak, chicken, turkey, lamb, and fish, and then when you add the good quality fats to it, you're full, you're satisfied. And so you can see here, the proportion here, this is a real food pyramid that will literally cause the pounds to drop and the weight to come off, and you'll have a healthier brain. Do you know how many scientists are right now writing books about this lifestyle right here that can actually change a schizophrenic into a normal, healthy brain behavior, or bipolar into normal, healthy, by just changing to this food pyramid right here? Oh my goodness, this is so exciting. Very exciting to do this. High fat, low carb. Sugar makes insulin. Insulin makes you fat. More insulin, more fat, period. Make a little rhyme or ditty on that one. So what do we got here? We've got butter. We've got the chicken salad. We've got some veggies going on here. And so it's really quite simple. What can I eat? Well, take a look here. Here's your meat. Look how many meats are acceptable. Venison, veal, turkey, lamb, duck, chicken, of course, beef jerky, bison. When you travel a lot, get some good healthy beef jerky and gnaw on that a while. What do you think the Indians, how did they cross the desert we just came from? Because they made beef jerky, and they were able to sustain their bodies that way through the harsh heat and And fruit, avocado, berries of all kind, coconut, lime, lemon, olives, rhubarb, eggs. You can have as many eggs as you want in this lifestyle. How about fish? Make sure it's a cold water fish, and even seafood is great and fine as long as it's fresh caught, wild caught. And then nuts and seeds, stay away from the seed oils, but you can eat the seeds. It's the process that they extract the oils that is very carcinogen and highly inflammatory. So Brazil nuts, my favorites, walnuts. I love pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds. I sprinkle them sometimes on a salad. Flowers, you're going to pull away more from the white flour and more toward a nut type flours. I use actually pecan flour a lot to dust my chicken with, and it's quite delicious. And I fry it coconut oil. Oh my goodness, ask me for the recipe. Drinks, coffee, teas, bone broth, lemon juice, lime juice, and water. Stay away from all juice drinks because it's nothing but sugar. It'll spike your insulin. Good fats, avocado oil, beef tallow, butter, cocoa butter, cacao butter, coconut butter, coconut oil, duck fat, extra virgin olive oil, ghee. I just gave Cassie, tell Marlena how good that coconut butter is, because I just gave her some, and she goes, "Oh, do you put this on your body?" I go, no. You eat that stuff. You eat that stuff. It's very, very good and good for you. And once it touches your mouth, you'll never go back to almond butter or peanut butter. It's the best stuff you ever put on it. And I'll let you know where I get mine. Well, I'll let you know now. Write it down, healthytraditions.com. And David Sorensen is the gentleman that runs that company online. He was the first guy to ever have an online company selling coconut products. He's gone over to the Philippines. He's got some of the best coconut products you'll ever cook with, eat, anything. Great. He also has other products that I love on his website for sale. Dairy, you can actually have good dairy. Just make sure your dairy is not pre-packaged. Like Velveeta, I hate to say this, but it's not cheese. It's not cheese. And so, and mac and cheese, obviously is not cheese. It's not macaroni and cheese. So the dairy is Greek yogurt that's organic. And any of the good hard cheeses, especially foreign, from France, from Germany, from Ireland, because they don't use the RBGH hormone, which again will mess with your hormones. So what we're doing is we're getting away from the foods that mess with your hormones. It'll save your marriage. It will save your life. Get away from the foods that mess with your hormones and start owning your life, owning your brain, and owning your hormones. Because folks, your hormones run everything. They get you up in the morning and they put you to bed at night. They motivate you to the level of your motivation throughout the day. And when they're upset, you are upset. So you can say here the vegetables, look how many vegetables are sitting in the negative calorie unit. Great, make your salads, saute your meats with this, enjoy a wonderful chicken curry, beef curry, lamb curry, any kind of wonderful, just leave off or limit your amount of rice. Don't have 14 bowls of rice or 4 cups of rice with your curry. So you can see here that you're substituting, you're switching out, and you are satisfying your body with good, healthy foods. Rethink weight loss. Not all weight loss is healthy. America may be confronting a muscle crisis. Gen X and millennials are facing higher cancer rates and weight loss drug reduces muscle. Can you guess what weight loss drug that is? Oh, Ozempic, yes. And they're saying, oh my goodness, you're dropping weight. We're so proud of you. And then all of a sudden you're walking in like this. Well, I don't know why I can't walk straight up anymore. I don't have no strength. And did we not meet someone the other night that is the very case? Because you're dropping muscle. You're not dropping fat, you're dropping muscle. So Ozempic is about 40% of the weight loss is lean mass, mostly muscle. You can't afford to lose 1 ounce of muscle, especially if you're aging, because you're already losing muscle and you don't want to lose more muscle. Sarcopenic obesity is what they're calling this, which is a condition marked by excess fat and low skeletal muscle common in older adults. Further reduction in lean mass among those with too little to begin with could pose a greater threat to health and longevity than the presence of excess fat. Do you hear what they're saying here? That a lack of muscle is putting you at a higher risk than being obese. That is shocking. And what does this Ozempic drug do? It produces a lack of muscle as you drop pounds. Well, what are you exchanging here? You're exchanging pounds for shortening your lifespan in terms of the condition of your digestive system, the condition of your muscles, the condition of your endocrine system, your hormones. Muscle is an organ that powers vitality to your body. I want to say that one more time. Muscle is an actual organ that powers vitalities. Why would you want to reduce your power of vitality 40% to drop some weight? Oh my, when you can do it the way I just showed you. 3 ways muscles aids in weight management. Obesity at its core is a disease of the muscle. Oh, shocker. Dr. Lyons said in her TED Talk, we don't have a battle of the belly. What we have is a battle of the bicep. Muscle plays a key role in managing our weight. Number 1, it enhances our metabolism using calories more effectively. So if you have a steak, if you have lamb chops, if you have chicken, if you have turkey, if you have venison burgers, if you have any of this, it actually is going to utilize those units of energy more efficiency. Muscle plays a key role in managing our weight. So regulates glucose, so we are less likely to store calories as fat, and helps regulate our hormones. How many here are planning on having steak for dinner tomorrow? Yay! Oh my goodness. Meat, protein, good quality fats. Improve your body composition and keep us in better overall metabolic health. And this is something that Dr. Lyon has actually brought to surface here in her books, in her research, and in her TED Talks. Let's look at it a little further. Muscle balances hormones. Wow. So why should we hold on to muscle? Because it's going to help you metabolize. It's going to help you with your hormones. It's going to help you utilize your calories more efficiently. Actively working and taxing your muscles tissue will help regulate your hormones. Muscles aren't just for movement, they also play a significant role in balancing hormones. Who knew that muscle plays a role in hormones? Muscles produce and secrete hundreds of hormone-like substances that influence various physiological processes, including hormone regulation, those myokines help regulate and release of hormones such as insulin, aiding in metabolic stability. Muscles also produce hormones such as irisin, which converts white fat to brown fat, enhancing energy expenditures. Irisin is secreted from muscles in response to exercise and may mediate some beneficial effects of exercise in humans, such as weight loss. And that was found in the Handbook of Hormones. So interleukin is another hormone-like substance releases by our muscles during exercise, and it boosts fat burning and improves insulin sensitivity, making it easier to lose weight and maintain metabolic health. So when you eat protein and you turn that protein into muscle, and then you build that muscle through exercise, do you see what you're doing here? Wow, you got a recipe for health. Muscle as a medicine. Who knew that muscle itself acts like a medicine inside the body? And we need to exchange a paradigm of medicine and think about muscle as medicine. Dr. Lyons said in her TED Talk and her book, she recommends resistance training and protein forward diet to combat muscle loss. Resistance training promotes muscle growth and maintenance. When somebody calls me and said, I'm losing muscle or I'm losing bone mass, their bone mass index, I tell them increase their protein and start working out to where your body does a work and tearing and then repairing, building all along. It's building, preserving and building muscles, supporting better health and enhancing weight loss interventions. As people turn to weight loss drugs, surgery, and other methods, addressing muscle loss is crucial for maintaining overall health. So we've just found what we call the magic bullet is protein, quality fats, and then going in for a strength training, which doesn't mean you have to spend the entire day at the gym. It just means you have to have a routine to where you're actually building, tearing, and then building and repairing. So Neolife is the trusted source that I go to for a perfect protein. That's the most trusted source for a perfect protein. And we're going to talk about that perfect protein, and we're going to go share. And Marlena can go fix us a protein shake. And we're going to do a protein shake and an elevate. And we're going to show you a vitamin E here. So this is one of our programs for weight management, is getting on a quality protein where you're going to utilize all 18 grams of protein. It's about amino acids, and it's about rebuilding, restructuring, and being able to use all 18 grams of that protein into your body and to build muscle. And to repair tissue. The most trusted source to meet your nutritional needs. So say goodbye to fad diets with clinically proven shakes and vitality solutions. Awesome. We're going to talk a little bit about the protein industry, because they know sarcopenia is also an issue. Then they flood the market with protein powders. And what you don't know is the majority of them have raw materials, ingredients coming over from China and India that are loaded with lead, loaded with cadmium, loaded with BPA, which is harmful and cancer causing, including Garden of Life, which has a double seal on it of accountability, but there really is no accountability for heavy metals. Seal of accountability is what I look for when you're looking for a quality protein. You don't need to look anywhere else, because the quality difference is found in Neolife. We were actually the first company ever to release a protein powder in 1965. Seal of accountability, ProtoGuard process, 5 grams of fiber. Do you know that fiber satiates you. Fiber makes you feel full longer. And it plays a part in feeding good gut bacteria. Glycemic response, it will not spike your blood sugar, and it has enzymes in it, so it's so pre-digested, it won't put a load on your kidneys or your liver. It's completely biologically complete with all 22 amino acids, with 25 essential vitamins and minerals, and it gets the highest score for protecting your kidneys and for quality in protein, and that's a 1.73, and a 1 is considered a perfect score. So this is considered a meal replacement. So for weight management, I recommend you do the detox program. You hit it with a detox program. You hit it with 2 shakes a day. Do that for 30 days, and I'll guide you about a sensible meal at the end of the day. Increasing your enzymes, your digestibility plays a part in that. And this is all for muscle repair, easy digestion, great for building muscle and weight management. And Marlene is coming in and gonna share this protein with you. We have the core nutrition, which is the Pro Vitality. I'm going to talk briefly about the energy electrolyte drink, Elevate, and the protein shake combination. So what do you have in the Pro Vitality? You have 4 essential nutrients that's going to fill the gap, meet the need. When it fills the gap and meets the need, then your body's going to be satisfied. And so it's 4 essentials: the TRANN grain oils, the carotenoid complex, the salmon oil, and 22 vitamins and minerals, all from human whole food properties, the way it should be, not synthetic. The 4th one with the 22 multi-minerals with minerals, vitamins and minerals, has K1, K2, and biotin in it. Quite amazing, wonderful, wonderful nutrients. TRANN will feed your cells. It will get your cells functioning again. It will actually send the message to your cells to release the toxins and begin to bring in the good nutrition. After the TRANN, the carotenoid complex is going to reduce your oxidative damage that you've done through years of eating the lie. And then the salmon oil is going to help reduce inflammation, which is what is caused from years of eating inflammatory foods. And again, there's nothing better than our carotenoids, our grain oils, our fish oils. It's quite amazing. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it because that's for another class, but I'm going to move on. And right after you drink the shake, we're going to do an Elevate, and we're going to enjoy an Elevate. Thank you. Thank you. And everybody's wondering, okay, so if I do your weight loss program or your weight management program, how am I going to get energy? I feel like absolutely crashing at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. And so this is a great way to actually elevate your life through Elevate. And Elevate is the cleanest, most amazing electrolyte drink. And it has your magnesium, potassium, sodium in it. It's got D vitamins, B vitamins. It's got vitamin C in it, your daily doses, triple your daily doses on vitamin C. But I like the fact that it has an extract of green tea along with the match of L-theanine and sun-theanine and taurine. Now that sun-theanine is a patented form of a amino acid that lifts your dopamine. Woo! Talk about a sense of well-being. You drink the Elevate, you will be elevated, and you'll be able to buzz through the last part of the day with focus, with clarity, and with a great sense of well-being. And the girls are going to bring in some Elevate and let you taste the Elevate here in just a minute. It's a patented form of L-theanine and sun-theanine. All the other companies use synthetic forms, and the body is triggered and overstimulated because of the other products that they're using. Our Neolife tea, we won't serve you the tea because it's 6:30, 7:30. You probably won't sleep tonight because it is the most amazing alert tea. If you need to focus, if you're working all night, it's fine to do that. I drink it in the morning, keeps me alert. If I'm driving, I'm getting drowsy. When I'm driving extensive times, I drink that tea. I am on point, on alert. And I don't experience the crash either. This is the cleanest, most effective tea you'll ever put in your body. It is more than like windshield wipers for the brain. It keeps you on task, keeps you focused. It's quite amazing. It's got 3 teas in it: green tea, black tea, white tea, with a touch of honey crystals. And with those honey crystals, it's not sweet. And so if you like a Southern sweet tea, you'll have to add some stevia to it. I prefer stevia over sugar because of the insulin spike, but it is fantastic. And sometimes I mix the tea with the Elevate. And wow, we just took a trip. And so everybody was 0 sleep because you're up at 2 a.m. and you're headed out the door to the airport at 3 a.m. And so nobody gets sleep, but you got to stay alert. You got to stay awake. You got to collect everything. So we mix our Elevate and some of our Neolife tea, and we were on point, on target, talking with people in the airport about Neolife, having a great time. Here is our detox. The average person has stored in them 7 pounds of toxins in their cells. And with those 7 pounds of toxins, you want to get rid of them, right? This is a great way to get rid of them, is our detox. If you want to do a longer than a 3-day, sometimes you have a lot of impactation in your bowels, and you need more than 3 days. So it's safe. It is designed and formulated by the world leading toxicologists for detoxing, and the average person loses 3 to 10 pounds on this amazing detox. Wow. So yes, meet cellular nutrition, meet healthy today, healthy tomorrow, healthy every which way. You want to lose weight the healthy way? This is the way to drop pounds the healthy way. We're starting a revolution across America. All right, don't go down a path that you're going to regret. Freedom from tyranny of obesity and shame is deciding today that you're going to make a different choice. And Neolife offers us to have a better choice. Be healthy, live longer, and have energy. You don't have to sacrifice taste. You don't have to sacrifice delightful food. You don't have to sacrifice energy. You don't have to sacrifice any of those things. You can have it all and drop the weight. Yay. All right. So I'm going to show you. Did everybody enjoy the Elevate? Yay. So I'm going to show you a little bit about a vitamin E that is synthetic, pathetic synthetic, right here in this cup. And then I'm going to show you a real living whole food vitamin E difference. All righty. Oh my. And then we'll open it up for questions. All right. And then I'm going to take a whole food vitamin E here. This is a whole food vitamin E. that is from Neolife with all 8 E's. And we're gonna put her in this cup here. And I don't waste 1 drop of this vitamin E. Woo! Wow, guess what? I trust this company so much. I don't waste 1 drop of it. I did that on a Zoom the other day. It was quite interesting because there was about 15 people, brand new people on the Zoom. There was a lawyer on there. After I finished the Zoom, the next day, the lady that put the Zoom together, she goes, my friend who's a lawyer said, honey, when she took that vitamin E and ate it, that did it for me. I want it. But take a look here that I am actually stirring up a vitamin E that is made synthetically, and you can actually see it ooey, gooey. It will
Can I help
disrupt
with
your hormones.
Or leave it
Sure,
there?
yes. Anybody here?
Everybody
Let them
see
touch
what's
the
going
back of it. And right here, thank you so much, Gary.
Yeah.
And I'm showing you a
I
living
wouldn't touch it,
foods,
touch
a living foods, vitamin E
it. You see it.
that is going to help you and not harm you. And if you touch the back of it, don't wipe it on anything. We'll come around and give you some green to wash it off. And who would like to taste the real human living food, vital food, vitamin E? Who would like to taste it? Marlene's got some demi cups in there, Gary, if you want to go get them, and we'll pour some for the people. And I need the broccoli. If we're gonna do the broccoli, I need the broccoli. We've got to bring the broccoli in here, but we got the water. We're gonna do the broccoli, and then we will take some Q&A. All right, have y'all learned anything here tonight?
Yeah.
Can you think about anybody else that needs to hear this information? And what you heard tonight is not a standard class. It's just, this was requested about weight loss, so we did that. Oops. Okay. All right, take this around, Gary. Anybody who wants to taste it. This is a healthy vitamin E. It's healthy. If it's healthy, it's healing. And healthy means it's coming from a living food.
Cheers.
Yeah, if it's coming from a dead food. I had somebody, oh, bring it on down. I had somebody tell me the other day, well, I don't eat dead food, so therefore I don't eat meat. And I thought, well, okay, let me see if I can explain this. All right, anybody else back there wanted the vitamin E? Okay. All right, so now we're going to actually, let's see if we can get, you gotta get your trusty knife out. I see that. Let me see if we can do this over this one. All righty. All right. All right. How many here wash their fruits and vegetables? Thank you, Philip. Appreciate it. All right. So if you wash your fruits and vegetables, you're smart, you're sharp, because you need to wash your fruits and vegetables because they actually have a glued on pesticide. And this glued on pesticide was based upon a law that they passed concerning the pesticides. That, oh, hold on a second, I'm actually going to quit or stop sharing so they can see this better. All right. All right. There we go. Got it. Okay. Yay. All right. I want you to see this. All right. So we can see this. All right. So they're gluing our pesticides on to our fruits and vegetables. And as they glue it on, you can't wash it off. And this is organic. So right here you see, is it washing off? Let's see if I can show it to the right there. You see it? Is it washing off? No, it is not. Well, we went to the store and we actually purchased an organic cleaner, veggie cleaner. And it had some unusual things in the label. So we called the company and asked them what exactly was in the product, and they wouldn't tell us. So we paid to have it analyzed and found there was petroleum in it. So we said, my goodness, our clean, amazing American company produces an amazing product called green. And this green will wash anything, whether it's your husband, your wife, your bird, your dog, your sink, your toilet, whatever. And your fruits and vegetables. So I'm going to put just a little bit of this amazing green that's made from aloe. It's made from lemon. Everything's natural that's in it. And I'm going to take part of this broccoli, pour a little more water in there, and we're going to wash it. Why? Because I don't know about you, but I want to lift my body burden. A lot of times we'll gain weight and hold on to weight because we have a lot of toxins that the body's trying to keep away from our vital organs in those fat cells. So when you reduce your body's burden of toxins and chemicals, then you help your body get the message you can drop the unwanted pounds. Wow. So notice that that little drop made a huge difference in the water right there. And take a look. Can you spot the difference? Can you spot the difference? Let me see if I can take this closely to the camera. Can you spot the difference for the color differentiation? Now we're going to see which one is going to help you, that's harm you, help you. This one will cause cancer because of the pesticide. This one will fight cancer because you removed it. Wow, what a difference. What an amazing difference that makes. Awesome. Wow. Okay, some paper towels here. Right. So I am actually going to stop the recording. See if I can find how to stop the recording. Thank you so much for joining us on our Gain the Facts on Obesity. I will hold on to those that are on the Zoom to answer any questions. But right now I am going to pause the recording.